All right, guys, the Stars and Stripes flying proudly outside of Scott Field and also on the facade at Davis-Wade Stadium. The fans lining up in a scene that we've seen repeatedly around the country. Americans lining up en masse to support the relief effort of the victims in Washington and New York. Meanwhile, inside Scott Field, feelings of patriotism abound. Americans uniting as one. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones. Welcome to Starkville and welcome back to college football, the first Division I game to be broadcast on ESPN since the horrific events of September the 11th. You know, college football has always been inextricably and distinctively woven into the fabric of America. Fabric that was temporarily, I add, just temporarily severed, but not irreparably, back on September the 11th. Well, today, the players with mindful hearts are back on the field, competing on the gridiron of brotherhood. The fans, they have come too in support. As for us, we are here simply to document the game and perhaps weave a single thread into the diverse fabric and quilt that is the greatness and the pride of our nation. Right now, let's go down to the field and the presentation of the flag. And now, please join us in a moment of silence. And now the playing of our national anthem. Please join Bonnie Sherman singing.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
As a way of saluting this great nation of ours, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join the famous Maroon Band and the players from Mississippi State University and the University of South Carolina in singing God Bless America.
ESPN's Thursday Night College Football is presented by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. And in part by Purolator. Pure oil now, pure oil later.
And welcome back to Starkville, Mississippi. Mississippi State, number 16, getting ready to take on number 20, the South Carolina Gamecocks, in a important, somewhat pivotal SEC battle. Back once again, I'm Mark Jones, joined by Mike Gottfried. So many intangibles in the equation of both teams being able to get ready. The players say they're ready to go. They're tired of hitting one another. As for the coaches, Mike, tough for them to put their thumb on the respective pulses of their teams. But what does it all mean in the big picture?
Mark, you know, I'm not sure the coaches know how their teams are going to play tonight. But when you look at this football game, you start with defenses, because both defenses are going to pressure the quarterback and really get after him from start to finish. And when you start with South Carolina, their quarterback, Phil Petty, has not thrown an interception this year. He is running the ball versus the blitz. I expect to see him do that. He's a very accurate passer, but he needs some help, big plays downfield by his wide receivers. On the other side, State's Wayne Matkin also hasn't thrown an interception. He should benefit from a strong running game. And I would look for Mississippi State to get some opportunities off of the play-action game, because I think their running game will be effective.
Yeah, so many things that could happen early in this ball game, too, with the respective rust of both teams. Right now, let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, playing under very difficult circumstances became even more difficult for South Carolina last night. Their chartered plane had mechanical problems. They weren't able to fly into Starkville until today. I spoke with offensive coordinator Skip Holtz. He said, Jimmy, it really threw us out of our rhythm, out of our routine. Coach Gottfried, I got to ask you, on the day of a game, getting on a bus, flying on a plane, getting on another bus to your hotel, that is not how you want to spend your day. South Carolina, they're concerned about it, and they should be.
All right, thanks a lot, Jimmy. South Carolina, meanwhile, won the toss, and they have elected to defend. They have deferred to the second half as we get set for the kickoff. Dante Walker and Pig Prather back deep for the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mark, I don't think it really is going to hurt South Carolina travel plans. They got to sleep at their own hotel last night. May have been better for them.
A short kickoff that comes down at the 10-yard line. That's Walker. And Dante Walker gives the Bulldogs good opening field position out to the 33-yard line. And that is where Wayne Matkin will start the reins of this Mississippi State offense. Matkin, not spectacular, but extremely efficient. Mississippi State's all-time winningest quarterback, 24-10 as a starter. Look at our Bud Light starting lineups. Watson, Scott, Ages, Brewer, and Spikes, the dangerous receiver. First down and 10 from the 33-yard line. Matkin to pass out of the backfield. That's Miller. Vincenzo Miller with a first down into Gamecock territory at the 46-yard line. A good block from Donald Tucker on the play.
Good, safe pass for Wayne Matkin to open this football game. You expect the emotions of South Carolina to be charging up the field. Good call. Get the little screen out to Vincenzo Miller. He picks up good blocking, good field position for State.
Like a 22-yard pickup and a first down on the first play of the ball game for Mississippi State. Backs out of the eye on 1st and 10. Nice play fake. Matkin out of bounds. Gained maybe a yard down to the 44-yard line. Let's take a look at the offensive line for Mississippi State. Actually, South Carolina first. Wharton, Williams, Johnson, Fry, and Hall. Mississippi State, meanwhile, their defensive line looks like that. But the Bulldogs'
very good defensive line, too, Mark.
The offensive line for Mississippi State with 3 returning starters. Right now they have the ball, 2nd down and 9. Matkin with plenty of time. Flag down on the play, pass complete. That's Justin Jenkins, a 6'1" sophomore. We'll have to wait and see if this one stands or not. A 12-yard pickup, Mike.
May get a holding on Justin Griffith, the fullback.
Face mask by the offense, 15 yards from the previous spot. We played 2nd down.
I believe it was on Justin Griffith, the fullback.
Griffith, someone who's improved his blocking this year. There's a look at him. Meanwhile, the Bulldog offensive line with 3 returning starters from a season ago. Number 66, Tommy Watson, one of the guys with a key assignment today, Mike.
Really, Mark, he has got, he's a former guard that moved to center, and he's got Langston Moore, a defensive lineman, right on top of him this entire football game. Really impressed with Langston Moore.
Already has 2 blocked field goals this season. 2nd down and 24 for the Bulldogs from their own 41 this time. Out of the backfield, it's incomplete, intended for Justin Jenkins. It'll be 3rd down and 24 to go. Let's take a look at the linebackers. Garrison, Kalimba Edwards, a special talent, joined by Jermaine Lemon as well.
And you'll see Kalimba Edwards up. Sometimes he'll play as a linebacker, but he prefers to play down as a defensive end and rush the passer.
As for the secondary, 5 DBs, dog safeties. The guy to watch, Sheldon Brown on the corner, the All-American candidate. 3rd down and 24. They set up the screen. That's Miller, got a good block. Miller close to the first down at the 35-yard line. Ireland making the tackle.
Just talked about Tommy Watson, the center, and he does a nice job of coming out here and blocking. Again, they take advantage of South Carolina's pursuit up the field, and they get the screen out to Vincenzo Miller. You're going to see Kyle Wallace, number 75, 66, Tommy Watson with good blocks. And I'm surprised of how Mississippi State's coming out and putting the ball in Wayne Matkin's hands. I thought they'd come out and try to pound South Carolina. So I think now they're trying to loosen them up, and eventually you'll see Vincenzo Miller just hammer at this defensive line.
This time they line up out of the eye. Miller between the tackles. Stopped up by number 91, John Stamper, the 6'5" senior.
Sparky Woods is the offensive coordinator, former head coach of South Carolina, Mark, and here he is as he calls the plays. And I think when he looked back at the Georgia film, Georgia had success with Musa Smith, the fine tailback that they had running the ball, and I just think you're going to see a lot of Vincenzo Miller and Dante Walker.
Sparky Woods, someone who's brought a lot of balance to this Bulldog attack in the last few years. 2nd down and 7 now for Mississippi State. Miller again. Miller plowing his way down to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short for Mississippi State. And as you mentioned, Mike, they go a couple runs now in a row after taking advantage, seemingly, of some of the anticipation. South Carolina really trying to get upfield quickly.
You know, it's a good play-calling system by Sparky Woods. He knew the emotion that the pregame held, and everybody's waiting to play, and he took advantage of that with some screen passes. Now hammering at that defensive line.
Third down and a long one to go. Here's to the fullback, Justin Griffith, and he gets the Mississippi State first down. Garrison making the stop on the play, so they go to hammer time.
Yeah, it's hammer time for sure. And now here's where Georgia, 2 weeks ago, Ron Franklin, Adrian Krusnai had that game. Georgia moved 20s to the 20s, but when they got down here, South Carolina really stopped them, forced them to kick 2 field goals. They missed the field goals, so Mississippi State has to be good in this area.
First down and 10. At the 25, Natkin hands it off to Miller. Spins off of one would-be tackler, finally stopped by Willie Offord. Miller, who led the team in rushing a season ago, had 108 yards rushing in their season opener against Memphis to go along with a touchdown. Talked earlier in the game about how that two-headed monster really can get teams off balance.
It's good to have a second tailback like Dante Walker. He could start for most teams.
Second down and 7. Miller again between the tackles down to the 18-yard line.
State's a team that, Mark, can be balanced. You look at a year ago, they averaged 1 more yard rushing the football than they did passing, and they had that same balance in their opener against Memphis.
Another third down they face here, 3rd and 5. A 5-receiver set for the Bulldogs. And it's complete for the first down to Terrell Grindle, the 5'10 junior. So Madkin spreading it around a little bit, Coach.
Everything's safe. Screen passes, hitch passes, and run the football. Nice start for Wayne Madkin.
Madkin 24-10 as a starter, the all-time winningest quarterback. He's won more games than everybody in school history except for Don Smith. First down and 10. Miller trying to get to the edge. Vincenzo Miller down to the 2-yard line. Island making a touchdown-saving tackle. And he broke through the arms of Sheldon Brown.
When you have a good eye tailback, you usually have a good eye fullback. Justin Griffith had a good block again, number 31. But Vincenzo Miller shows you the power as he got around the corners and ran over South Carolina defenders.
He has run 5 times for a total of 25 yards. They've thrown it to him twice for 46. He's the focal point of the offense so far. First and goal. Touchdown, Mississippi State. Dante Walker. So the Bulldogs cap a very precise and methodical drive with a touchdown. Walker leaping high into the air. Marlin in for the extra point. And after a 12-play, 67-yard drive, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, they haven't played in 17 days, but the rust falling off in big chunks right now. We'll be right back. Bulldogs leading the Gamecocks 7-0, courtesy of a long, methodical scoring drive. Bulldogs set to kick off, and keep in mind that on that scoring drive, they overcame a 15-yard penalty, too. Here's Brewer 2 yards deep. They run the reverse. Alexander Takes it out to the 27-yard line. A little razzmatazz by Lou Holtz, Mike.
Trying to catch somebody out of their lane.
Phil Petty, the starting quarterback, he got knocked out in the last 2 games against Mississippi State. Enough said. He's looking just to survive in this one, you would think. A look at the skill positions brought to you by Bud Light, Watson Scott, Aegis Brewer, and Carlos Spikes. Derek Watson, the focal point of the Gamecock attack. First down and 10 from the 26. That's Brewer. And he is brought down at the 28-yard line by Morgan. Take a look at the offensive line now for South Carolina. Wharton, Williams, Johnson, Fry, and Hall. A bit of a change up front on that right side of the offensive line.
Yeah, we're going to watch that. Melvin Page usually starts at the right tackle spot. He's been suspended, so we'll see how long he stays out of here.
Meanwhile, those 5 guys will be putting a lot of pressure on quarterback Phil Petty up front. Hagan and Stevens, dangerous attacking ends. 2nd and 8. Petty fires incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long. Not the situation they want to be in.
No, and they had a bust, though. They really busted that play.
Take a look at the lone linebacker for Mississippi State in that 5-1-5 alignment. T.J. Mawhinney from Covington, Louisiana. The DBs run very well. Pick Pray to the leader back there, the All-American candidate.
They'll either win or lose this game on 1-on-1 coverage because I don't think South Carolina can run the ball. So you got a lot of jump balls in this game. Long passes.
3rd down and 8 to go for South Carolina on this, their opening drive of the ball game. And a flag down on the play.
Offensive lineman moved out of his 3-point stance. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
A 3rd down and about 13 to go now.
Mark, South Carolina is the least penalized team in the SEC. They average 17 yards. On the other side, State is the most penalized team, averaging 91 yards in penalties in one game.
3rd down and 13. Jackie Sherrill in his 11th season as the Mississippi State head coach, the winningest coach in school history. 3rd and 13. Up top, incomplete, almost caught by number 7, Michael Aegis.
This is what I'm talking about. You're going to get a lot of opportunities for a pass interference, a jump ball, and they give it to you because they're going to blitz and they're going to be up bump and run coverage. So you got to make those opportunities connect.
One of those high-risk, high-reward defenses.
It's feast or famine.
4th down and 13. As Tyler Dean punts, and Ray Bivens back from an injury. He'll let a bounce, come dead at the 33-yard line. And there's a flag down back at the 26, a 44-yard punt by Tyler Dean. Seen a few penalties by both sides so far early here in the game. Something you might expect after the long layoff.
Mistakes and turnovers. See a lot of them this weekend.
Holding for the defense. It's not an automatic. You get 10. You want to take the 10? Behind the line. 10-yard penalty. 10-yard penalty to be here. Still be 4th down. Nope.
Confusion abounds on the field right now as
South Carolina's going to take this penalty and still have a 4th down situation.
The officials discussing matters. Yes, they will punt it again.
The previous spot is not an automatic 1st down. It'll be 4th down again.
Well, again, you talked about Mississippi State being the most penalized team in the conference. It'll be 4th down and 3 now as Tyler Dean will Set up this time on his own 19-yard line. Ray Bivens back deep. This punt not as good as the last one. Outside of bounds at the 32. A 36-yard punt, nothing on the return. Folks, two Heisman hopeful quarterbacks featured in an ESPN2 college football double dip. Game 1, 5:45. It's Woody Dantzler and Clemson, number 18, against Virginia. Game 2 at 9 o'clock. Chris Sims, guys, number 6, Texas, against their state rivals from Houston. It's college football on ESPN2. For more, log on to ESPN.com. So the Bulldogs will start off on their own 31-yard line here at Scott Field. Their second series of the ball game. They lead 7-0. This is Dante Walker in for this series. Ran into a stack of tacklers led by John Alston, number 86. Bulldogs held the ball for 5:24, went 67 yards the first time they had the ball. 4 yards that time, near the 35. So now we get a look at Dante Walker at tailback. How are they different, Mike?
Dante Walker's a stronger runner. I think DeCenzo Miller's a good balanced runner that can go the distance.
2nd down and 7. Atkin with plenty of time again. Looking up top, incomplete, intended for Justin Jenkins. Good coverage by Island.
Mark, on the first drive, State all power in the running game. Opened up with some screen passes, loosened up, and then DeCenzo Miller with a good cutback, and then he breaks around the corner. Watch him lower his shoulder and shows you the strength on Sheldon Brown, and then Dante Walker over the top. So look for more of that kind of game out of Mississippi State.
Bulldogs now, Mike, looking at 3rd down and 7. They're 3 for 3 so far in their 3rd down conversions. And they do it again. Complete to the big tight end, Donald Lee, a huge target at 6'4", 248. That's a guy that Sparky Woods says he wants to try and incorporate more into the Bulldog offense.
They use him a lot in pass protection. They'll keep him in if they expect a blitz, but sneak him out on an option route. Tight end number 94 just going to go down and hook. Easy throw for Wayne Matkin against zone coverage.
And it gives Mississippi State a 1st down at the 43-yard line. Atkin looking up top. Grindle incomplete at the 5-yard line. They haven't been afraid to throw it downfield, Mike, that's for sure.
But I like the play calling because they run the football, hammer at South Carolina, and they're going to get their opportunities deep downfield too. That's just good coverage by South Carolina.
And the good news for quarterback Matkin, that was the 110th consecutive pass attempt without an interception. That is a school record. Tying the mark set by Don Smith. Here's the toss to Walker. Walker up to the 48-yard line, brought down by Jermaine Lemon that time. Walker last week ran the ball 68 yards on 15 rushes against Memphis. That was actually 17 days ago. 3rd down and 4. They have converted on all 4 3rd down situations. Out of the backfield. They're waiting for that one. Fumble. And South Carolina has the ball. John Stamper recovered the loose pill.
Rashad Faison with a good tackle. And here's what South Carolina does very well. They'll take advantage of your mistakes. So they'll hang around and hang around. Georgia made some mistakes against them, and they benefited from it. South Carolina on defense, same play. They hit right on the first play. Dante Walker gets hit right on the football with Rashad Faison, and South Carolina in good shape.
We have a coaches will be the first to tell you Faison a big hitter. That man Stamper the beneficiary. First down and 10 for the Gamecocks.
Again, the blitz of Mississippi State is bothering the offensive line of South Carolina. They're real itchy. Well, that long layoff and getting ready for this blitz.
Before the snap, movement by the offensive line, 5 yards, still first down.
You just got to sit in there. Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator, doesn't use a headset. I think all the other coaches can go get a hot dog while Joe Lee's calling, and then just once they know what he's calling, watch for their position guys.
They do bring a lot of heat and a lot of pressure on defense. First down and 15. Eddie out of the shotgun. Pass complete to Alexander. And Alexander out to the 40-yard line, brought down by Josh Morgan on the play. An 8-yard pickup for South Carolina, so they get some back.
You can see the strategy, Mark, of South Carolina. I don't believe they've attempted a run yet. They're throwing the ball out. They look at the linebackers up so tight. They're trying to get the ball outside to Corey Alexander here on a quick bubble screen. But so far, we haven't seen Watson. We haven't seen Pinnock try to really hit up in there.
Different strategy.
Substitution penalty on South Carolina.
Saw that happen against Georgia, and it really cost. Actually, pardon me, it was Georgia that really cost in that game. But another penalty against the Gamecocks.
I've been watching Jackie Sherrill. He's really on the officials. And he wanted that penalty called on the last play. He's in the ear of the officials.
Nose of the ball moved back to the 45-yard line as we approach 6 minutes to go in the first period. Second down and 12. Bulldogs bring pressure. Good call on the screen. This is Watson. First time he touches the ball tonight. Down to the 35-yard line, brought down by Wright, a 10-yard pickup. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Mark, I talked with South Carolina offensive coordinator Skip Holtz before the game. He said, I usually call the game more conservatively on the road, but I probably called it too conservative in the road win at Georgia 2 weeks ago. He said, tonight my play calling is going to be dictated by the score and how much pressure Mississippi State's bringing. Right now, they're bringing a lot.
Sure are. Third down and 2. They get the first down and then some. Pinnock. Touchdown, South Carolina. 35 yards, virtually untouched.
They took advantage of the fumble by Dante Walker. And that play reminded me of the Washington Redskins when John Riggins hit it up there in the Super Bowl, because everybody sells out in the short yardage defense, and if you get the right seam, there's nobody back in center field. So a touchdown for South Carolina.
Daniel Weaver in for the extra point. Andrew Pinnock with his 3rd rushing touchdown this season.
See, here's another problem. When you're off for a while in concentration, they don't have enough guys on the field, but they still...
Now they call a timeout.
I think I'd have taken the penalty. Take the penalty, move back 5 yards still.
It's not worth the timeout.
Extra point, no.
Lou Holtz is livid, his voice intoning vehemently, and they're feeling the heat right now. We'll be right back. South Carolina with a touchdown moments ago. They trail with the extra point to come. The toe of Daniel Weaver. And another flag on the play.
Here you go.
Lou Holtz has cooled off to a boil now, Mike.
And I think both teams will settle down a little bit more as we get into this football game.
Defense in the neutral zone, half the distance, still one try.
Al Ford, our official today, wearing the white hat, a very busy man so far here in the first period with 5:23 to play. After much time and thought, Weaver knocks it through, and we are tied at 7 apiece.
It's coming for more.
So the Gamecocks able to convert after that fumble recovery on the big hit on Walker.
Mark, we talked about turnovers that set up this score, penalties. We've had several here from the start. And here's the touchdown. Andrew Pinnick, and what we're going to do is get a block down, a kick out on the top by Frankie McCullough, and then Gavin Ford, number 43, is going to get a block in the secondary, and just nobody back there. Bad angle by Josh Morgan, number 47. So the first turnover computes into 7 points for South Carolina.
About what you expected so far?
Exactly. But I thought Mississippi State, and I expect them to go back to more running game. South Carolina's tried 2 running plays, and very successful in the second one.
Walker back deep for Mississippi State along with Prather. Under the lights here at Scott Field, Mississippi State coming into the game 1-0, South Carolina 2-0. Walker at the 5. Got a good block from Prather. Walker with another nice return out to the 43-yard line. A 38-yard return on the play, and once again, Mississippi State with good field position.
You spotted it. Pete Prather really with a very good block to set up this big kickoff return. So good field position. Number 29, Pete Prather, right here. He's eyeing him up right here, and he makes a heck of a block to start this run off.
Felt that one up here.
Oh.
Bowers, the kicker, made the tackle on the play.
Pig got dirty.
He sure did. First down and 10. To the eye, they give it to number 12. That's DeCenzo Miller back in the ball game for Mississippi State.
The pressure falls on Wayne Matkin here at State. We talked to Sparky Woods about the leadership issue, and he talked about Wayne Matkin. He said he practices hard, he's unselfish, but he's not a huge team morale guy, and he said he wouldn't trade for any quarterback in the SEC.
It's funny, at SEC Media Day, everybody talked about every other quarterback but him being all conference. He just says, I go out and play and I try and win games. And that he has done. Second down and 8. Finds his target complete down to the 45-yard line. That's Grindle, tackled by Sheldon Brown. He was working on the All-American well that time.
What Wayne Matkin sees on this play, Mark, is all of a sudden now South Carolina's saying, hey, we've got to get some people inside to help against the run. So he's got wide open wide receivers on the outside. Grindle makes this catch against Sheldon Brown, the All-American corner.
First down and 10 subsequently from the 46-yard line. As we approach 4 minutes to play in the first period, we're tied at 7. Out of the backfield, complete. Number 85, Lindsey. They have really spread it around to a bunch of different targets.
They really have, and they put really the first quarter on their quarterback, Wayne Matkin. And Sparky, to conclude that thought, he says he's got his hands full at quarterback because we asked him to do an awful lot for us at the line of scrimmage.
Into and out of good plays and bad plays. 7 to 10 so far. This time hands it off to Miller. Stopped short of the 41-yard line. Jeremiah Garrison with a big hit. Folks, ESPN College Game Day presented by Discover Card. Joining Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit. This weekend, Game Day looks at live shots with head coaches Larry Coker of Miami and Bob Stoops of Oklahoma. Your all-access pass also with Rice University. College Game Day, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific on ESPN. 3rd down and 5 for Mississippi State. Adkin, and it's knocked away that time, intended for Grindle. That time, Brown got a beat on the ball and closed.
Yeah, good break by Sheldon Brown on the ball. Grindle with the curl route. And then Sheldon Brown reads the quarterback's eyes and makes a good, strong break to knock the ball away.
And into punt now is Jared Cook. 3 punts this year, averaging 45 yards. He'll try and put this one inside the 20 to no avail, though. And the Gamecocks will start off on their own 20-yard line. Levity striking Brewer. We'll be back in just a minute. South Carolina and Mississippi State tied at 7 apiece, both members of the SEC, and their conference with a very magnanimous gesture, the SEC donating some $1 million to the relief effort of last week's terrorist attacks in New York and in Washington. And they have also printed the U.S. flag on helmets and uniforms across the conference. Mike, it feels like college football again, doesn't it?
It's back, and even though we keep in mind the people who have suffered in New York and Washington and Pennsylvania, there was a stirring pregame, and everybody here is praying for the good Lord. Yeah. Praying to the good Lord for our country.
That's what we need. 1st down and 10. Dawes in the game for South Carolina. Petty comes back the other way. Under duress, throws it out of bounds. Big Prather putting the heat on him.
Phil Petty has not finished a game against Mississippi State in the last 2. Now here he runs for his life, and he really makes this play. He almost gets sacked. Takes a couple of hits by some Dorset Davis. Number 99. And Pig Prather. Pig is hitting everything and moves.
Sure is today. And he said he was knocked out of the last 2 games. His survival instincts at a premium tonight. 2nd down and 10. Petty on the quick slant to Brewer, complete for the 1st down and then some, out to the 39-yard line. You're not going to find a more gritty, gutty player than number 21 for South Carolina, Mike.
No, and he leads South Carolina with 9 receptions. They use him in all special teams. He's one of the favorite receivers by quarterback Phil Petty. He'll run the reverse. He just does so many things. Outback most valuable player against Ohio State from Troy, Ohio.
18-yard pickup on that last pass catch. 1st down and 10 for the Gamecocks. They hand it off to Watson. Watson got a few, brought down by Connor Stevens, number 90. Stevens and Hagan, a couple of great bookends at defensive end for Mississippi State.
And they really, last year, Mississippi State did not allow South Carolina to run the football. 30 yards against this defense, same blitzing defense where you commit the linebackers to the run.
2nd down and 4 for South Carolina. Watson again, this time stopped up right near the line of scrimmage. It was someone different this time, Khalil Nash, number 92, leading the charge.
Derek Watson's the kind of back that he gets frustrated if you get penetration. We talked to Joe Lee Dunn the other day about Derek Watson, how to stop him. He said, we got to get penetration, got to get him before he starts. And so far, they've been successful. And he gets frustrated because he wants to make a big play on every time he touches the football.
Watson also struggled in the last game with his health against Georgia. 3rd down and 3. They blitz, but the pass complete for the 1st down to Brian Scott. And Petty really took a hit that time.
Yeah, no, the hits will wear on Phil Petty as this game goes on, but he's engineering this drive right now. There's not a lot of room for mistakes because it's happened so quick. He gets the snap in the shotgun. I like putting him back in the shotgun. He takes the hit. And here's the route on the outside. Now the receiver's got to get his head around right away to make that catch. Brian Scott.
Brian Scott sent to the sidelines after that play, being checked out by the doctors. Handed off. Nothing doing in the middle. Connor Stevens again in on the play. You get the feeling Joe Lee Dunn really loves his defensive ends, doesn't he?
He does, and he has a reason to, because they're so active. And they've got good size. When we sat down again with Joe Lee Dunn, he said, I have 6 defensive players that'll play in pro football. And then when we talked to Sparky Woods, he said, I got 5. So they make no bones about it. They got good players.
And no doubt you will see some of them at the next level. Well, the first 15 minutes are in the books. We are back playing college football. 7-7 here at Scott Field. We'll be right back.
ESPN's Thursday Night College Football is brought to you by Original Coors. Nothing beats an original. And by 1010-220. Dial it, and all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents.
We're here at Scott Field on the campus of Mississippi State University. Mark Jones along with Mike Gottfried and Jimmy Dykes down on the sidelines. Second down, they run the reverse to Corey Alexander. He's got room. Alexander with another Gamecock first down, brought down by Banks at the 20-yard line.
Fastest player on the South Carolina football team, Corey Alexander. Start him in motion. Everybody blocks down. His speed gets him outside. A big play. They've changed the field position game again. Jimmy Dykes talked about the Georgia game plan. Skip Holtz thought he was a little conservative. He's been wide open here so far.
Yeah, it looks entirely different. And maybe close to a face mask infraction there. Out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Incomplete, a flag down near side 25-yard line.
Either the offense is moving or somebody's offside for State.
That has been one of the themes here so far in the game, is penalties by both teams. This one against the offense of South Carolina.
Really been impressed with
Offense
Phil
had
Petty.
only 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty. Repeat.
In what sense?
Mark, he's making all the right decisions, and he's checking at the line of scrimmage, but he's right on with the blitz. He's going to the right receivers at the right time. He's playing 100% football right here in the first quarter.
Thinking man's game by Phil Petty. Teams combining for a total of 7 penalties. First down and 15. Backside pressure by the Bulldogs, but Petty comes the other way, complete to Corey Alexander, who got that big run just a few moments ago. Birdsong making the stop on the play. The story of the game so far, as we look back at our ESPN game track, in the first quarter, it was all D, as in DeCenzo Miller of Mississippi State, rushing the ball for 25 yards, receiving for 46, and then Dante Walker came in to punctuate the point with a touchdown. And then it was Pinnock countering for South Carolina, untouched into the end zone. 35 yards, his 3rd of the season. Second down and 7 for the Gamecocks. And that one well read by the Bulldogs on defense. Hagan and Morgan in to make the stop on Watson.
Just a good job of defending the option. Phil Petty comes down the line, kicks the ball out, but here's a missed tackle.
Hagan slowed him down a little bit, Mike. And then Morgan came in to finish him off. 3rd down and 9.
The receiver they've been looking to so far is Corey Alexander, number 3.
He is lined up
Right here.
right there in the slot right. Bulldogs come with pressure. Incomplete, out of the outstretched arms of Brian Scott, who came back into the game.
Talked about feast or famine now. You have only so much time to throw against the linebackers pressuring you. Had a chance there for a big play, touchdown.
Those corners of the Bulldogs really have a lot of pressure on them.
They really do. I really believe that they would either be the winner or the loser of this football game.
Daniel Weaver from 35 yards out. He's 2 of 2 on the season. And he knocks this one through to give the South Carolina Gamecocks a 10-7 lead. 12 days ago, they were Road Warriors. They're looking to accomplish that feat again. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to college football presented by Circuit City. We're in Starkville, Mississippi. Scott Field as South Carolina leads 10-7. Lou Holtz, his team leading by a field goal so far. I don't think there was any question as to whether he would, if not have his team ready coming into the game, make the necessary adjustments, Mike.
Well, and you talked about the home field advantage states had, 17 out of 18 here at home, but South Carolina has quieted the crowd.
And this time, Mississippi State will not get a chance to return the kickoff. They had 2 good ones previous to that one. This week on our ESPN College Football Question of the Night, which SEC coach gets the most out of his team? Steve Spurrier, Philip Fulmer, Tommy Tuberville, Lou Holtz, or Jackie Sherrill? Polling closes at halftime, so log on and vote now.
Plus, there's a lot of other guys in the SEC that are pretty good coaches. But when you look at that kind of graphic, it's the staffs in college football. Your defensive coordinator, your defensive staff, your offensive coordinator, your offensive staff. So head coach is the overseer.
First down and 10. That is Dante Walker out to the 24-yard line. And you look at the South Carolina staff, Mike, it's a young staff.
Young staff. Skip Holtz runs the offense, former head coach at Connecticut. Charlie Strong runs the defense. Coach in Florida under Steve Spurrier, Notre Dame under Bob Davie, and Lou Holtz, and he's done a very good job. They got a good staff.
Second down and 6. Walker again, choosing his holes very judiciously out to the 32-yard line. Stopped by Kalimba Edwards. Ran into his own man and kept going.
Yeah, he really did. He ran into the offensive lineman and then stopped and cut and then to the left and picked up the first down. Kalimba Edwards, you're going to say his name a lot today because he's one of the better defensive linemen in the country.
All-American candidate himself. First down and 10 for Mississippi State. They trail by 3. Atkin ruled complete at the 42-yard line. Terrell Grindle laid out and made the catch, working on Brown.
You know, we talked about Mississippi State's defensive backs are going to be their win or lose it in Phil Petty on the other side. But Wayne Matkin really has a lot of pressure on him because they run the football well. He gets the ball out to Grindle. A little high, but Grindle makes a good catch. Sheldon Brown, good corner on coverage.
Toss on first down, and providing good run support as Willie offered to make the stop on the play. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Hey, Mark, Wayne Matkin came in this ball game on a national level, probably not with the respect this kid deserves. He's the number 2 in the nation right now among active quarterbacks, and as far as number of career wins, only Eric Crouch at Nebraska has more. Sparky Woods made a great point. You're asking a 21-year-old kid at the quarterback position to match wits with a defensive coordinator. So far, Matkin's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, you're right, Jimmy, and the game has really evolved into just that. The quarterback against the D coordinator. Matkin sacked. And it was Charlie Strong getting the best of the quarterback that time. Offered in on the stop.
And then you talk about the 25-second clock, all the changes in defense. When the bus rolls up to the stadium, the defensive coordinator says, your quarterback has to beat me. Here, John Stamper just ran over the protection. Willie Alford also helping. This South Carolina defense is a really good defense. I saw them against Georgia. They hang in there and get the turnovers to help their offense.
They've done it once already, forcing a turnover, fumble recovery leading to a touchdown. 3rd and 19 for Matkin and the Bulldogs. Looking to make a play, forced out of bounds, and the Bulldogs will have to punt. That time, the South Carolina defense dictating things.
Zone coverage, 3-man rush, everybody sitting back in coverage, no place to throw. A frustrated Wayne Matkin just stretched out the field and finally gets tackled near the out-of-bounds mark. Again, South Carolina getting the best of this.
4th down and 21, and Jared Cook into punt.
And you got that guy back there, Ryan Brewer, just makes things happen.
Standing at his own 28. A line drive returnable punt. Brewer at the 34. Good special teams coverage that time by the Bulldogs. Number 20 Offord making the stop on the play. South Carolina leading 10-7 under the lights at Scott Field. We'll be right back. South Carolina with the ball and the lead, 10-7. Coach Phil Petty says he's got a better understanding of the offense this year. It shows so far.
Really, the longer you're with a coaching staff and the longer you're with a coordinator in the offense, like he and Skip Holtz have a special relationship, and he does understand he's an extension of the coach at the line of scrimmage.
Hands it off to Pinnock, the fullback, who scored the touchdown run of 35 yards in the first quarter. Brought down by Robertson.
Now they've had 7 first down plays. They've had 4 runs and 3 passes. They started this game, South Carolina, throwing the ball all over the lot. Now they've spread out State's defense a little bit. Now they're pounding them with the running game.
Skip Holtz really mixing up the bag of tricks.
And he's patient over there. He's calling a good game so far.
2nd down and 2. Ford and Watson lining up out of the eye. That's Pinnock. The deep back over midfield for the first down to the 47-yard line, picking up 10 on that play. So we see Pinnock move to the tailback spot in place of Watson and get some good yardage.
Pinnock is a big-time running back, and he really helps Phil Petty. Now, Skip Holtz told Phil Petty he wanted to cut down on the interceptions. He hasn't thrown one this year. He threw 8 touchdowns last year and 10 interceptions. So they've made a real concerted effort to cut down on his interceptions. So far, so good.
And he also saying he got bigger and stronger during the offseason with some contact, and flags dropped. Both teams at times seeing just a little bit too eager on their respective interior lines.
Defense made contact before the ball was snapped, 5 yards, still first down.
This one going against the Bulldogs. Folks, don't forget, ESPN football coming your way. Kurt Kittner in Illinois taking on the Louisville Cardinals in a battle of a couple of unbeaten teams. Louisville at 3-0, Illinois at 2-0. That's noon Saturday on ESPN. First down and 5 now for South Carolina. And brought down at the 43-yard line is Carlos Spikes.
Carlos Spikes, it was a pass all the way. A good call by Skip Holtz. Anytime you cross the 50-yard line mark and you got a 1st and 5, it's kind of a throwaway down. You got a chance for a big play. He tried to get the ball down the field to Brian Scott. Pretty good coverage by State, but I think I'd have hung it up anyway and see if they could bring it in or get an interference call.
2nd down and 6 as a result.
Here's Brewer out here now. He's a key receiver for him also.
They hand it off to Pinnock. Plowing his way down to the 38-yard line, tackled by Tommy Kelly. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Mark, talking to South Carolina coaches before this ball game, they said the key to Mississippi State's defense is the cover corner guys, in particular, Demetric Wright and Corey Banks. They said if those 2 guys are able to lock us up in man coverage, it's going to allow Jolie Dunn's defense to bring a lot of pressure tonight. Keep an eye on 2 and 24 in maroon jersey right now.
All right, Jimmy, and number 2, the All-American, wearing the number of Fred Smoot.
And so far, they've done what they need to do in the secondary. They have done exactly what Jimmy Dykes said. They've covered pretty well.
South Carolina, though, Mike, moving the ball pretty well on the ground using Pinnock.
And Pinnock has been the key because Watson's out, and they're going to more of a hammering with Andrew Pinnock. He's 5'11", 250, out of Connecticut. Very heralded high school football player.
He's run the ball 4 times for 58 yards total. 3rd down and 1. Pinnock is the lone back. Looked like the same play they ran for the touchdown, Mike.
Same play, overloading the right side, blocking down, backs with key blocks. Is the offensive line of South Carolina blocking down. Watch them all block down here to the right side. And then the backs will lead. Pinnock, good burst on the first step to get to the line of scrimmage.
And now, Mike, they have run the ball 5 consecutive times. 1st down and 10 to go. Pressure off the corner, and they sack Petty back at the 38-yard line. That's Sean Birdsong.
Sean Birdsong is an interesting player because he got his start last year against Florida and got really beat twice by Jabari Gaffney. And he said his friends, he always wanted to play on national TV, and he said his friends called him and said, you know, you got beat twice. And he said he almost wanted to cry, but they'll be proud of him tonight because he makes a big play on Phil Petty.
Yeah, after that Florida game, came back the next week and played well in subsequent weeks, became the team starter, and has been a fixture since. 2nd down and 14. Picked off. Corey Banks. But there's a flag down at the 43-yard line. And it's recovered after another fumble.
Always tell your defensive backs, Corey Banks, when you intercept that football, it's ours. You got to lock it away. But South Carolina with a good tackle to jar it loose. Phil Petty threw that ball behind his receiver.
Very much behind, and Brewer made the fumble recovery on the play.
Holding by the offense in the backfield. The penalty is 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Repeating 2nd down.
Here's the pass play. Phil Petty trying to get the ball to Carlos Spikes. He has him leading, but Corey Banks, he threw it behind him. Now let's see what happens. There's our guy, Ryan Brewer, number 21.
Caused it and recovered the fumble.
He does everything. He must drive the bus, team bus.
2nd down and 24. South Carolina in an empty backfield formation. Little receiver screen complete. Back across the formation was Carlos Spikes, who got rocked coming back the other way.
State runs well on defense. Play doesn't have long enough to really develop because of the speed in the secondary.
You're not going to go east-west against these guys that often, are you?
Joe Lee, he's got that brains going, and he's thinking about what call he wants. He doesn't want anybody talking to him.
3rd down and 21. Eddie going up top for Scott. And Banks was there on the coverage again. It's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down for South Carolina.
That's the play 2 weeks ago against Georgia that really set up the final touchdown. Corey Banks in good shape against Brian Scott.
Into punt now is Tyler Dean. Banks standing on his own 10-yard line. This one bounces into the end zone just barely. Out of the grasp of ages. So the Bulldogs will start off on their own 20 when we come back trailing by 3. Welcome back to Scott Field. I'm Mark Jones along with Mike Gottfried and Jimmy Dykes down at the sidelines. Mississippi State with the ball, trailing by 3 points. They were expecting a crowd of, well, a school record crowd of a little over 46,000 people here tonight, as they canceled classes a little bit early at 2 o'clock this afternoon to accommodate some of the expected crowd. Bulldog offense has stalled on its last 3 possessions. Atkins to pass. Complete to Miller. Miller really can make something out of nothing. Gets the first down out to the 35.
And he did that, exactly what you're talking about, Wayne Matkin. That wasn't a screen pass. I think what DeCenzo Miller was doing was blocking on the play, but he saw it was alive, and as Wayne Matkin was moving to the right, he moved with him, and that's a sign of a good receiver, a smart football player. DeCenzo Miller, he does everything for this team. He holds on extra points and field goals as a tailback.
Doak Walker candidate, DeCenzo Miller, number 12. Atkin has a receiver complete to Grindle at the 31-yard line. He was working on Sheldon Brown on the play, a pickup of 34 yards.
And Matkin shows the strength in his arm, but Grindle shows concentration bringing that football in. Here's the wide receiver against coverage by Sheldon Brown. Grindle works upfield, but watch his concentration. He's up high, gets tackled, brings the ball in.
Took a hit and held on. First and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 31. Handed off to Miller. Down to the 29-yard line, brought down by Jermaine Lemon.
Mark, when we talked to Kalimba Edwards on the phone, he said, I like to play down. Now, a lot of people compare him to Javon Curse, the former Florida football player. Watch him he comes inside, takes on the block, and then gets his arms to make the tackle. They tell me Dom Capers is here tonight just to watch Kalimba Edwards.
He is a big-time talent, All-American prospect. They run the screen complete to Griffith, the fullback. Takes it down to the 16-yard line. Brought down by Edwards, number 55, the guy we were just talking about, but not before a 14-yard pickup. Got a good block that time from Courtney Lee, too.
Beautifully designed football play. Looks like a screen to the right side. Wayne Matkin sets it up. Now Justin Griffith gets on the outside. Now your blocker's got to take over. So you got a chance to go all the way. That's Courtney Lee, number 74.
Showing depth touch as well. Justin Jenkins in motion. They toss it into the boundary and nothing doing on that play. Willie Offord leading the charge. And the Bulldogs will lose a few yards on that play. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy.
Mark, I tell you what impressed me about Wayne Matkin in practice this week. This kid's closer to 6'5" than 6'4". Those last 3 passes he completed, he would have never gotten them off if he wasn't that tall. Couldn't see over the top of that rush. This kid has a real physical presence on that football field.
Jimmy Sparky Woods coached Aaron Brooks at Virginia under George Welsh. And of course, Aaron Brooks is at the Saints now, and he compares both of them. He said that Wayne Matkin's a lot like Aaron Brooks.
It's a very favorable comparison for him. Atkin on the slant intended for Grindle, incomplete. No flags on the play. Andre Goodman on the coverage, number 35.
Yeah, pretty good coverage by Andre Goodman. Might have got his arms tied up a little bit, but it was good coverage, good no call. But Jimmy talked about Wayne Matkin's arm. You could see it again, the strength of the arm.
Really soft-spoken. Young man presents himself well.
Here's where you got to beat South Carolina. When you get inside the 25-yard line, you can't go backwards.
3rd and 15. Incomplete. He went right back to number 15, Grindle, looking for a flag, but getting none.
Same thing against Georgia. 3 field goal attempts. They made 2. They missed 1. They're very good when you get in their territory, and the field shrinks a little bit. Charlie Strong with a good job defensively, keeping State out of the end zone.
And he has ties to Jackie Sherrill. He was a former grad assistant under Sherrill back at Texas A&M. In to attempt a field goal from 38 yards out is John Michael Marlin. And he knocked this one just a little bit to the left. He is now 1 of 3 on the season. So an opportunity goes by the boards for the Bulldogs, and the South Carolina defense once more dodges a bullet. We'll be right back. South Carolina with a field goal advantage. The last time they played here in Starkville, Mississippi, that was back in 1999. They lost 17-0, so they're already 10 points ahead of the game.
Really have played well in this first half. They made the most of every little thing that they've tried to do on offense. They're running the ball better.
Bill Petty managing the reins of the South Carolina offense. First down and 10 from the 21-yard line. That time Penix check that. It was Watson stopped up for a loss of 1. And let's go back to the studio, find out what's happening at halftime.
All right, Mark. Well, let me tell you, Barry Bonds was in action this afternoon, which means we were in action covering him. We'll talk about that. Rice is playing Nebraska as we speak. Big 12 action and West Coast action coming up this weekend will be on the docket as Chris Kirkman, coach. Join me later on at halftime. Now back to the Chicken.
Thank you, Rich. Second down and 12 for South Carolina. And it's Watson. Out near the 30, brought down just shy of it by Sean Birdsong. Surprised that they haven't run the ball with Watson as much as you might have thought coming into this game.
I think their game plan's right. Penix is probably the stronger back, but Watson's doing a good job on the outside. South Carolina's rush offense. Last year we talked about they gained 30 yards rushing. Tonight I think they're close. They're 102. And to borrow from John Miller and Joe Morgan, it's like when you play against the defensive coordinator for 3 years, it's like a pitcher going around and all of a sudden you face him and then you face him again, you face him again, and you start to figure him out a little bit. And I think South Carolina's doing some interesting things to Joe Lee Dunn's defense.
Point well taken. Getting a feel for the vibe, and don't forget that, folks, Saturday it's Auburn against Syracuse, 7:45 Eastern on ESPN. The Orangemen try to slow SEC foe Auburn in a huge game for both teams. That's under the dome in Syracuse, 7:45 Eastern time. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Big game for Auburn and Syracuse. I think it's a game for Syracuse. They can turn everything around if they can beat Auburn. Auburn's a young ball club. Tommy Tuberville's got a freshman quarterback going in to play in a dome for the first time, first road game. It'll be tough.
Well, Troy Nunes really struggled right from the jump. Third down and 2 for South Carolina. And they're close to the first down. That was Penix again. Mike, I got to hang around you a lot more. I've gotten used to that formation. That's the third time now we've seen it, right?
Third time, and this first close game you've had also, right?
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Very competitive. Penix taking a well-deserved rest on the sidelines. He, the one who ran for a 35-yard touchdown in the first quarter.
I wouldn't be surprised if a screen or something short here. And then South Carolina still has 3 timeouts. So if they can get about to the 40-45, they might start unleashing long passes a little bit more. Here's a draw.
There's Watson finding a seam up the middle, and Watson with a first down at the 46-yard line.
Said draw or screen. It's a draw. Now Lou Holtz is thinking about scoring now. At the 30-yard line, he was thinking maybe about taking the lead to the locker room, but now he's got 3 timeouts, and now the play calling changes here. Here's the draw. You talked about Watson. Now here he's seen Penix run up inside. Now he wants to get his share.
Last year, Watson led South Carolina in rushing, for over 1,000 yards, 1,066. First down and 10, under 2 minutes to play in the first half.
They want a timeout from the sideline. They didn't like this play.
Go up top, incomplete, intended for Brian Scott. That one not even close.
When you look at the South Carolina coaches on the side, they were not happy at all. That play took too much time, and there was a bust in formation or something happened to them. They were trying to get a timeout. Phil Petty just didn't see it. And you can't hear here.
No. And it's interesting, they have not allowed the cowbells in, those distinctively ringing cowbells that you usually hear here in Starkville, Mississippi. Second down and 10. A crowd of close to 46,000 on hand tonight as we welcome back college football. Second down and 10. Watson rocked by number 92, Khalil Nash. Nash, the 6'4", 281-pound junior, making the stop.
Khalil Nash took a different route to college. He signed with Ole Miss and left the team and went to prep school, then junior college at Arizona Western. Here he makes a heck of a hit and then tackles Derek Watson in the backfield as a Bulldog.
Yeah, that
took him a long way to get here.
We found home on that play. 4 tackles tonight to go along with a sack. And a timeout on the field.
This has been a bust here, these last 2 plays for South Carolina.
Bulldogs with 2 timeouts remaining. Meanwhile, coming up at halftime, SportsCenter in game. Join Rich Eisen as Barry Bonds chases history. Talk around the Big 12 and some of the West Coast tilts. Ohio State taking on UCLA and USC battling Oregon. A couple of great interconference battles. What do you think? Think Barry Bonds gets to 70, Coach?
I watched him play last night. Malicki was pitching for Houston, and Malicki had his number. Now, whoever pitched for Houston today may have slipped, but I think he's going to see some tough pitches as he gets down the way, and it gets a little tighter as you get closer to the end of the season. But he's a great athlete, so.
Big spotlight on Barry Bonds, and spotlight tonight here on Starkville, Mississippi.
Can I say a welcome to the Air Force Captain Mary Scott Hunter. She's a JAG. The daughter of Scott Hunter, former quarterback of Green Bay Packers. Alabama, great guy. She's at the Al Salim Air Force Base in Kuwait. Says ESPN's our entertainment. We salute all our service people all over the world. God bless them.
Well said, Coach. Third down and 13. Petty keeps it on the quarterback drop. Connor Stevens was having none of it.
Talked about when they got to the 45-yard line, they had 3 timeouts. And that's the benefit of being the son of the head coach, because he's not going to yell too much at you. But those 3 plays were 3 busts right there. So South Carolina didn't take advantage of the timeouts and the time and the field position. But you can credit Mississippi State.
You know, Coach, as we look at Skip Holtz talking to his quarterback, you think about the contrast between Skip and his dad. Lou known more for that power eye football, and Skip really mixing things up here.
Yeah, well, Skip's all right as long as Lou stays the way of run down the sideline. When you see Lou start to get close to him, they're going to get more back in the 2-back and get the ball to Derek Watson in run game.
You got a point. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Mike, you talked about our military, and certainly that hits home tonight with head coach Jackie Sherrill. His son Justin, 21 years old, is currently stationed at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls, Texas. That base, as most of them around the world right now, have been placed on high alert. Jackie had his weekly press conference interrupted from a phone call from Justin this week. Said, Dad, probably the last time I'll talk to you this week. My troops on the move. So head coach tonight, coaching a game, but thinking about life.
All right, thank you, Jimmy, and our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, we pray for them all.
Yeah, we certainly do. Spun out of bounds, a good one. Marked out at the 17, a 42-yard punt, nothing on the return. So with 48 seconds to play in the first half, Mississippi State, who missed a field goal attempt on their last series, tries to maybe get within range with a couple of timeouts and get some points on the board.
Now with 48 seconds, again, you start with a draw or a screen or something safe, and if you pick up something, then you take a shot. But I would think Mississippi State throw something short, a quarterback draw, see what you get. Don't want to turn the ball over here with 48 seconds.
Adkin works out of the shotgun on first down and 10. Underneath, complete. Number 85, Harold Lindsey.
Nice safe throw. Again, try something the same way. Hope you miss a tackle on my receiver and you get up to midfield so I can take a shot.
Atkin forced out of the pocket and brought down from behind. Good pursuit on the play that time by number 93, Dennis Quinn.
I would see enough right there. I'd just take it to the locker room and regroup.
Charlie Strong's defense has had a very large say in the score here in the first 30 minutes of play. As the first 2 quarters are in the books, Mississippi State, the home team, trailing by a score of 10-7. Plenty coming up at halftime, and right now let's get back to the studio and join Rich Eisen. Rich? Well, the South Carolina Gamecocks had some trouble making it here to their final destination in Starkville, Mississippi, but after a few adjustments and tinkering, they lead 10-7 after the first half of play. I'm Mark Jones along with Mike Gottfried and Jimmy Dykes down on the sidelines. South Carolina and Mississippi State both started off a little rusty, some penalties. If you're Mississippi State trailing, what kind of adjustments do you make? Well,
they ran the ball well early, Mark, and then since then they've averaged 2 yards per rushing play. And you see DeCenzo Miller right here with one of the better running plays they had. I think that Mississippi State will go to 2 tight ends in the second half. That balances South Carolina's defense up a little bit. So when they move the safety up, you got another tight end. So you pound the ball at them, and then Wayne Matkins better off of the run fake and bootlegging. So I look for 2 tight ends, run the ball, bootlegs by Wayne Matkins in the second half.
All right, and boy, you have to be at least a little bit surprised at the way that South Carolina has run the ball effectively against that tough Mississippi State defense.
They really have done a good job against the 8-man front.
Gamecocks receiving. That's Brewer from his own end zone. Weaving his way out to the 26-yard line. And let's take a look at the first half statistics, the numbers that jump out off the page at you. The rushing yardage, 114, as Mike mentioned just a few moments ago, just 41 for Mississippi State.
That's the big surprise of Mississippi State being outrushed. And then factor in the turnover, the fumble by Dante Walker, which led to the touchdown by South Carolina.
That's the one so far, the one big one. First down and 10, South Carolina 2-0 coming into this game. Mississippi State hadn't played in 17 days. They came in 1-0. This is Brewer. As we mentioned earlier, tough going east-west against that Mississippi State speed. Hagan making the stop on the play. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes, who has more on the Bulldogs.
Mark, I was in that Mississippi State locker room at halftime, and Jackie Sherrill was pretty simple in his approach with his kids. He did mention the word intensity about 12 times in a 5-minute speech. He told his guys, somebody make us a play to win this game. And he said, look me in the eye. You will not come back in this locker room without a win. And out they went.
Well, they came up inspired on that play, Jimmy. Davis in on the stop, along with Prather. Of course, Davis last year played at 314 pounds. Mikey dropped, I'd say, all the way down to 295.
Diet.
3rd and 10. Petty, and it's ruled a catch. at the 31-yard line, but it's short of the first down. Coverage by Prater.
Well, what Jimmy Dykes talked about, Jackie Sherrill got out of his defense. Let's see now when the change over in the punt, whether the offense treats it the same way. South Carolina just feeling their way in the first 3 plays.
The punt is Dean. Bivens back deep. Ray Bivens knee down at the 22-yard line.
Mark, you and I were talking. I just get the feeling that South Carolina doesn't think State can go 80 yards against them. So it's a field position thinking by Lou Holtz and the staff.
We will see if that Mississippi State offense now gets into some kind of power running game. Last year, one of the most proficient running teams in the conference. First down and 10 for Mississippi State. Line up out of the eye. That's DeCenzo Miller gaining about 3 yards, brought down by Dennis Quinn, the defensive end. Let's take a look at our ESPN game track. Some of the key factors and plays in the game so far. Weaver with a 35-yard field goal to give South Carolina the lead. And the running game, the big story, especially number 4, Pinnock, who has a 35-yard touchdown in the game. And then John Michael Marlin missing a 38-yarder that would have tied it at 10 apiece. And that's where we stand right now, 10-7. Atkin will check down out of the backfield to Miller, who's pushed out of bounds at the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 to go, Mike.
South Carolina, good tackling team, Mark. When you watch them play, I had them against Georgia Tech a couple weeks ago. They don't miss many tackles. And you get in the open field against DeCenzo Miller, you've got to be able to make a good tackle.
Look at the defensive coordinator, Charlie Strong, whose defense has played well so far in this game. 3rd and 4. In motion. Picked off. Goodman. And Andre Goodman is brought down at the 17-yard line. That is the first interception thrown by Madkin in over 110 passes. And the Gamecocks have great field position.
Second turnover by State. And Madkin was trying to get the ball to Justin Jenkins, number 8. Just throws it wildly. Threw it right to Andre Goodman. So South Carolina in business. Poorly thrown ball.
Maybe his worst thrown pass of the night and a costly one. Gamecocks working with a short field on 1st and 10.
One-on-one at the top. 2 tight ends for South Carolina. They run it.
Into Watson. And he's got a first down at the 6-yard line.
Talked about Mississippi State going to 2 tight ends and trying to balance up the defense. Now you get Skip Holtz comes right out of the locker room and goes to 2 tight ends to try to balance up Mississippi State's defense, where you get a helmet on a helmet, and then you got a guy like Derek Watson running the football, tough to bring down.
Watson puts the ball on the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for South Carolina. 2 tight ends, backs out of the eye. It's Watson again, this time stopped up by Nash, who led the charge of Bulldog tacklers.
Khalil Nash has made a lot of good plays against Skip Holtz' play calling.
Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Coach, you're exactly right. I talked to Skip Holtz just prior to this possession. He said the biggest concern is they continue to bring the whole house at me. He said, as a result, I'm going to change up my offensive line scheme just a little bit. More gap protection out of my offensive line this second half.
What does that mean for the offense ultimately, Mike?
Again, you try to take a lot of the thought process out of the offensive linemen, just let them block down so they don't get confused by all the movement and all the blitzing. There's Watson being, you talked about him, he had leg cramps against Georgia last week and missed a lot of playing time.
And he, no doubt, is a pivotal cog in their offensive machinery. A good receiver as well as runner. 7 receptions for 35 yards coming into the game. It'll be second down and goal for Skip Holtz's offense from the Mississippi State 9-yard line.
Two tight end offense. Brian Scott, the lone wide receiver, number 82, he made the touchdown catch against Georgia that really sealed that game.
And they run it to Brewer. And he stopped up at the 7-yard line. It'll be third down and goal to go. Dorset Davis making the stop.
You know, when everybody thought against Georgia that Skip Holtz and his dad Lou were setting up the field goal to win the game, they needed a field goal. They threw a pass to Scott. Petty hit him right on the money, and it was a fight, but he won the fight. Brian Scott got in the end zone for the touchdown.
Big target at 6'3".
Big target, and let's see if they go to him here.
Third down and goal. Scott split to the bottom of your screen. The left of Petty. Now in motion is Scott. They look his way. Well out of the grasp of him that time.
And they brought him into the boundary, short side of the field, motioned him out. They figured they may get one-on-one coverage, but Mississippi State watched the same Georgia tape. So they knew he was going to be the object of the Phil Petty's pass.
One of the objectives of Joe Lee Dunn was not to give up the big pass play. And in to attempt the field goal is Daniel Weaver. He's 1 for 1, made one from 35, this one from 25. And he knocks it between the pipes. South Carolina leads by 6 points, much to the delight of the veteran head coach Lou Holtz, the orchestrator, one of the greatest turnarounds in college football history last year. We welcome you back to Thursday night college football presented by Circuit City here on ESPN. 13-7, South Carolina leading Mississippi State with 10:38 to play in the third period. The Bulldogs now have done very well on kickoff returns so far tonight, taking the ball out to their 33 and 34, in addition to just one touchback. This is Walker. This one, a little more inauspicious. Have to start off on their own 20-yard line. Look at the last scoring drive, just 5 plays, eclipsing 11 yards in a minute 40, set up by that Goodman interception on the errant throw by Madkin.
Thought that comes into my mind right now is you want to take the game out of Wayne Madkin's hands a little bit right now, put it into Senzo Miller's hands or Dante Walker a little bit, and see if they can get something going for you.
They run it between the tackles this time. It's the fullback, Justin Griffin, brought down by Island.
If you're going to beat South Carolina, you can't make mistakes and beat yourself. Here, Dante Walker coughs up the first ball with Rashad Faison, and then pressure. South Carolina keeps pressuring Wayne Madkin, and then eventually he makes the mistake and throws the interception that leads to 10 points on turnovers.
Turnover. The Gamecock defense, Mike, has been the picture of opportunism. That's Dante Walker breaking a couple of tackles out to the 37-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and a first down. Island making the stop along with Faison. Walker breaking a tackle that time. That was his strength.
Talking about the two tight end attack, if you had a two tight end attack, even though they brought the wide receiver in, somebody's going to be on number 11, Rashad Faison there, and he's not going to have that chance to make that tackle. But they brought Justin Jenkins back as a wide receiver. Actually, it's like having two tight ends.
Lining up out of the eye. Nice hold for Dante Walker, who got out over the 40 before being tackled by Goodman.
Now, Mark, I just said earlier I would take the ball out of Wayne Madkin's hands, give it to my running backs, but eventually Wayne Madkin's going to have to make a play for you off the play action because Lou Holtz and Charlie Strong are not stupid. They're going to get extra people up there to stop this running game.
Those safeties creeping up just a little bit. Second down and 5.
You see right now there's 8 up there close to the line of scrimmage.
Quick 3-step drop, and Madkin on the money that time out to the 44. Sheldon Brown making the tackle on the play. Pass complete to Jenkins.
Shows you why he's an All-American. 4 interceptions last season. Justin Jenkins, he's covered like a blanket. Running quick out. Sheldon Brown sees it, plants, gets right up, and makes a sure tackle. Again, a good tackling defensive team. Not making a lot of mistakes.
Brown, a starting right fielder on the baseball team coming up this year for South Carolina, will probably be drafted by the pros as well. 3rd down and 2, bright future for him. On the blitz, incomplete. Closest guy to the ball that time was the offensive tackle, Kenrick Fairchild. 4th down, and the Bulldogs will punt.
Goes back again. Charlie Strong trying to get his defense off the sideline. You have to beat South Carolina. They're not going to beat themselves.
Like Mississippi State has not converted on its last 6 3rd downs. We approach 8 minutes to play in the period. Look with a high punt. Fielded by Brewer at the 15. South Carolina leading by 6 points after that 40-yard punt. We're going to take a break and come right back. 13-7, South Carolina leading by 6 points, and on the field right now is the backup quarterback, number 9, Corey Jenkins, the 6'2 junior. And that's probably why they brought him in the ball game, to run that play.
I knew he wasn't going to throw the ball. The 15-yard line, he's going to run the ball, and don't know if something's wrong with Phil Petty or they just brought him in for a play. I'm sure Jimmy Dykes will be on that sideline, find out for us as quick as he can.
There's a look at Petty on the sidelines right now. 2nd down and 5. So
this might be a running series for Jenkins.
Hand it off. That's Pinnock again. He has been a valuable cog in that offense. He gets the 1st down for the Gamecocks. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes. Jimmy, what's going on?
Mark, I just talked to South Carolina trainer Rod Walters. He said Phil Petty is fine. It's probably just another different look out of Skip Holtz getting Corey Jenkins in that ball game. This kid's an athlete. We talked about him this week on the phone with Skip. He said, I like to find him some opportunities to play in this game. Here he is.
When you blitz, a lot of times the quarterback can make a lot of things happen for you. Because if you fake to Watson going one way and the blitz comes down hard, sometimes a quarterback can get outside of that. And Corey Jenkins looks to me like he's excited about being in there. He's got quick feet. He runs well. He led Garden City Junior College to a #1 ranking. So you've got to feel comfortable with him.
We think things are moving pretty fast for him, too, because he's keeping up the speed. 2nd down and 7 for the Gamecocks. 3 receivers out to the top of your screen. And he keeps it again. Jenkins out near the 1st down at the 37-yard line. Josh Morgan making the tackle on the play.
See, this is what a lot of teams are doing. Clemson with Woodrow Dantzler and a lot of the quarterbacks, they become, out of the shotgun, they become the extra running back. He's going to fake the ball to Andrew Pinnock, read it. Now he gets the pulling guard coming on, and it's Travell Wharton, and leads him up there. So you got an extra running back in the backfield. A nice little change of pace by Lou Holtz.
He's run the ball this is his 4th attempt now. Gains a couple of yards. 4 times for a total of 18 yards. Khalil Nash making the stop. What do you anticipate now is the counter move, if any, by Mississippi State?
Well, I think Petty's going to go back. Oh, as far as Mississippi State, it's a change game for them. Now they got to count for one more runner. They don't worry about Phil Petty running football. He's not going to run off and leave anybody. He's a decent runner. When I say decent, you know, he didn't get the job done. This guy looks like he can go the distance carrying the football. So now you got to cut off a little your blitzing now.
2nd down and 8 for South Carolina. Clock running as we approach 5.5 to play in the 3rd. Puts a lot of air under that one. And it's incomplete, intended for number 15, Matt Thomas. Underthrown just so slightly.
If he throws that ball and a little bit more air on that, he's got a touchdown, because Josh Morgan was beat by Matthew Thomas. Matthew Thomas right now is separated. He's separated right there. But just underthrew the football and allowed Josh Morgan to come back and make the play.
3rd down and 3 for Corey Jenkins in a quarterback. And he faces a blitz, a little option package here. And he gets the South Carolina 1st down out into Mississippi State side of midfield. A 10-yard pickup.
When you blitz, now Mark, this is really a nice move by South Carolina. When you blitz, you're used to blitzing. That's your whole style. In the SEC, there's not many teams running option football. So all of a sudden, Lou Holtz is probably calling the plays now because he loves the option. Tony Rice at Notre Dame. Minnesota, you ran the option. But when you run the option, you can't blitz because you can't have people running in man coverage and nobody at home in the secondary.
Playing it a little more honest now. Flag down on the play.
It's offside on State.
Banks making the stop on Corey Jenkins, number 9, making Mississippi State defensively very much aware and on edge. When Skip Holtz says he's going to try some new tricks, you got to believe him now.
It's a very good move.
Defense, offsides, penalties declined, 2nd down.
Mississippi State has to change their whole game plan right now for this quarterback, Corey Jenkins. You can't just sell out your linebackers and be in man coverage right now. You got to turn into zone coverage players now.
He's run the ball, Mike, 6 times for 37 yards, all on this one series. 2nd and 1. Keeps it again for the 1st down to the 36-yard line. They move the chains and the clock keeps moving. South Carolina with a 6-point lead. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Mark and Coach, remember now, Joe Lee Dunn told us that South Carolina is not a drive it on you, eat up the clock type team. He also told us that Phil Petty, everybody on my defense can outrun Phil Petty. Now he's got a whole new set of problems right now with Corey Jenkins. They got a nice drive going.
He's got a lot of problems right now, Jimmy.
South Carolina with 174 yards rushing against one of the premier rush defenses in the country. Jenkins, incomplete, and a flag down in the end zone. Demetric Wright broke it up.
I think that's going to be offensive interference.
They're not afraid to throw it with Jenkins in there.
But you have to keep the defense a little bit honest so that you know he's just not going to a total run game.
Offensive pass interference, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, 1st down.
Mark, people at home, this is a complete change of what State has seen this entire football game. When you play man coverage, you turn your back to the football and you run with your man. When you play zone, you keep everything in front of you. Here's the interference right here.
Against Matt Thomas.
Quarterback draw right here, probably.
1st and 25 movement.
It's going to be on Corey Alexander.
Before the ball was snapped, movement by the offense. 5 yards, still 1st down.
In the last 2 plays, the Gamecocks have been penalized 20 yards. 1st and 30.
Look at all Mississippi State players on the field. They're all looking to Joe Lee Dunn.
And now maybe looking for answers to Corey Jenkins. Keeps it himself with room. Look at him go. Jenkins down to the 29-yard line. It'll set up 3rd down. Check that. He picked up 27 yards. 3 yards to go for the 1st down.
When you have 12 days layoff, we talked about layoffs early in the game. You get time to put new package in. If you had the regular 6 days, I don't know if you'd get time to put this in. Now, I'm sure they worked on it early in fall practice, but they have really caught State by surprise.
Jenkins gets them right back into good field position. 3rd down and 3. 2 to go, they call it now, and Jenkins keeps it himself. Lunging forward, it's going to be close. Not sure that he got there. Clock running with 3:14 to go. That was 2nd down. It'll be 3rd down and short. 3rd and 1. This perhaps one of the more definitive plays in the ballgame.
Time.
You've seen it before. And here they go again. With the same result, the 1st down out of bounds is Pinnock at the 17-yard line, Mike.
That is 4 times South Carolina's hurried up, and that's Florida State, Bobby Bowden formation. They like that in the goal line where everybody sprints up and they get you outnumbered to one side and rush the football. That's 4 times that play has been successful against State.
On this drive, Mike, they have run the ball 11 times and thrown it just once.
And they've eat up the 3rd quarter. 2:36 left.
Wow. 1st down and 10 for South Carolina. Backs lining up out of the eye this time. Brian Scott split wide to the bottom of your screen. It's Pinnock time. Down to the 15, stopped up by Ronnie Fields.
Mark, I don't think you'll take a lot of chances down here. The sure pass or keep doing what you're doing, because the way this game has flowed, South Carolina's got to feel like their defense is in complete control of Mississippi State's offense. So you want to come away with some points down here. For sure, 3 points. Now, you want 7, but you don't want to take a lot of chances to get to 7.
Weaver has been on the money kicking field goals tonight, too. He's hit 2 of them. 2nd down and 8. And Jenkins keeps it himself in the middle of the field. Nash making the tackle as we go under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd period.
Now, this is a tough call where Lou Holtz and Skip Holtz, you know, will try to come to some kind of an agreement. Do you take a chance here, or do you set it up for the field goal? Safe play, or Pinnock's back in the ball game. He's not a good pass receiver out of the backfield, so I figure he's a block. He's going to block all the way. He's either going to be a run with a quarterback, or they're going to try to get the ball to Brewer.
This is the 15th play of the drive. 3rd down and 7 for South Carolina. Jenkins keeps it, puts his hat down, but got stopped up short of the 1st down at the 11-yard line. Off the corner came Corey Banks with good run support.
So they're playing for the 3. They figure if they get the option and they get the 1st down, but they're going to kick this field goal.
Daniel Weaver poised and ready on the sideline to kick that field goal. Under a minute to play in the 3rd period. It'll be 4th down, about 5 yards to go. As Corey Jenkins has been the story here in the 3rd period.
You ever seen a quarter go so fast?
That was lightning
all
quick.
These people in the stands here pulling for Mississippi State wonder, did a magician come here and take over this 3rd quarter, because it's gone.
Corey Jenkins has really,
Mandrake.
he's eclipsed style. You know, you use the baseball analogy. There is a brand new pitcher in the game now. He's throwing a few curves, a little bit of gas, and Joe Lee Dunn is a little bit confused. We'll be back right after this. Quarterback Corey Jenkins put his team in good field position, ready for this field goal now. They ran the ball 14 times on that last drive.
He ran at 11 carries, 75 yards, a nice changeup against a blitzing style defense, a man coverage defense. It's a brilliant move. Really, you don't like to play when you're a man coverage team where you turn your back all the time. You don't want to play against an option quarterback, and just a complete surprise and a lot of confidence bringing him in on the 15-yard line, your own 15-yard line.
Move that took a lot of temerity by the head coach, Lou Holtz. Weaver from 28 yards out is now 3 for 3. As South Carolina pulls ahead by 9 points, 16-7. A 16-play, 74-yard drive that ate up over 7.5 minutes on the clock. The wily fox, Lou Holtz, still with a few tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a package where you can't be you know, your passing team, a wide open passing team, and all of a sudden you insert a package for your backup quarterback who's an option style quarterback, and so it will give teams problems. Not as many problems as it's going to give Mississippi State because they're an all-out sell the farm defense.
Have they nullified Mississippi State's pressure in essence?
Yes. Now you may see Petty on the next series now.
23 seconds to play in the third quarter, folks. ESPN College Football Primetime comes from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, Saturday, 7:45 Eastern, as Dwight Freeney and the Orangemen try to slow down the SEC's Auburn Tigers in a huge game for both teams, albeit early in the season. Coverage begins with College Game Day scoreboard show at 7 Eastern time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Again, it's to Dante Walker. Flag down, Walker down at the 23-yard line. This time, unlike times previously where he veered off to the right, he went up the left side of the field to no avail. South Carolina has put a big silencer on this home crowd here at Scott Field.
Holding on the return by the receiving team, 10 yards from the end of the run, first down.
After long layoffs, Mike, you expect special teams to be a little ragged too?
A little ragged, but you know, I think once they got back to it, we had some mistakes early. We said at the beginning, mistakes and turnovers. Turnovers for Mississippi State has just really been the difference in this ball game.
It's led to 10 South Carolina points. Atkin hands it off to the first man through the hole, Justin Griffith, the fullback. Gains about 4 on the play. And that will be the end of the third period as South Carolina, coming in at 2-0, looks to stay perfect on the season. A daunting task ahead for the Bulldogs, who trail 16-7 when we come back. Welcome back to Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi. Limba Edwards, one of the key figures defensively for South Carolina. South Carolina's defense, the story of the game really in part, and part of the reason why they lead 16-7. Second down and 4 for Mississippi State. Ball on their own 17-yard line. I'm Mark Jones along with Mike Gottfried. Jimmy Dykes down to the sidelines here at Scott Field. Play fake. Incomplete. Intended for Justin Jenkins. He actually had 2 receivers open on the play.
Yeah, he had Terrell Grindle, number 15. I believe he chose the wrong receiver. As you watch this route go down the field, it's a wheel route, and really Grindle comes free here, and the corner kind of pulls off, and he decides to throw the wrong guy. Throws to Justin Jenkins.
Atkin 12 of 18 for 145 yards. This half just 2 of 5. Completes this pass to the near side to Clarence Parker, his first reception of the game.
Now, Mark, all the conversation we have with Sparky Woods, and he talked about I wouldn't trade Wayne Matkin. Everything really falls on Wayne Matkin's shoulder. You fall behind 9 points, and your offense has not moved the ball. There's a surprise move by South Carolina's got the defense off edge. The senior quarterback really has to come through now.
He is the winningest quarterback in school history. 24-10 as a starter. He hands it off to fullback Griffith, who carries 3 would-be tacklers near the 40-yard line, breaking the tackle of Island for 1.
Justin Griffith, the fullback, was a wing T tailback in high school. And the offensive coach has said he's as fast as any back we have on this football team.
14-yard pickup for the first down. 5'11", 231 pounds. Pretty good load with 4.5 speed to boot.
37 pass receptions in 1999. So he's got good hands, too.
First down and 10. Incomplete, intended for Parker. Well overthrown on that one. Let's take a look back at our ESPN game track. Some of the themes of the last quarter, which are consistent with the game so far. Turnovers. Andre Goodman with an interception that set up a field goal for South Carolina. Then the South Carolina defense dominant in that period. And then Jenkins coming in and really changing the tempo and the complexion of the game with his running in the third quarter. Second down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Dante Walker gaining about 3. It'll be third down, about 7 to go. Not the kind of situation that you want to put Madkin in right now, Mike.
No, and you have to credit South Carolina's defense. And we talked, you talked about the down guys, Stamper, Edwards, Langston Moore is an outstanding nose tackle. Dennis Quinn on the outside. This defensive line has won the battle here in the second half.
Third down and 7. Madkin with time. Complete for the first down. Justin Jenkins reached back to make a nice catch. A 9-yard pickup for the first down.
You're right. Nice concentration catch. Donald Lee, the tight end, was open also. So South Carolina going to more zone coverage. Wayne Madkin just being patient on this drive.
First down and 10 from near midfield. Dante Walker over the left side, brought down by Kalimba Edwards. Walker running over Derek Thompson and Courtney Lee. And Edwards, really a great story from East Point, Georgia. His dad's a professor at the University of North Carolina. Said that he wanted not to go to Georgia, wanted to get away from home a little bit. Ended up going to South Carolina.
He told him, he said, if you want to go to the SEC, the only 2 schools you can go to are South Carolina or Vanderbilt.
He certainly made a good decision. Second down and 4. Give us to the fullback Griffith that time. Shy of the first down. It'll be third down and short for the Bulldog offense. Griffith checks out of the ball game.
Yeah, you think 2 downs here now.
Especially this part of the field.
Yeah, you're thinking now I got 2 downs to make it. So I figure get the ball to your best running back here, DeCenzo Miller, and although they're opening up, showing like it's a passing situation.
Jenkins, who made the last reception, split wide to the top of your screen, and Wayne Madkin wants to come to the sidelines and talk this one over with the brain trust. We'll take a timeout too. Mississippi State trailing by 9 when we come back.
ESPN's Thursday Night College Football is presented by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you.
Mississippi State trailing. Madkin, it's been a story of 2 different halves for him. And this is the first time he's taken his team into enemy territory in the second half. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 3. Incomplete. Broken up by Andre Goodman. 4th and 3, and the punting unit coming on.
Great coverage by Andre Goodman. He's in great shape right here. Little hairpin route to the outside, but Goodman was up for the challenge.
Hook into punt for the Bulldogs. Brewer with a fair catch at the 15-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Jimmy Dykes.
Mark, South Carolina's defensive coordinator, Charlie Strong, told us earlier this week the only blessing from that 0-11 season 2 years ago was the fact that we had the entire month of December off. We could evaluate what we were doing defensively. Coach Holtz walked into my office and he said, I want a more disruptive defense. That's the story of this game right now. 3 of the teams they studied during that time, Memphis, Southern Miss, and Mississippi State. They stole a playbook, didn't they, Coach?
They really did, and sometimes imitation is the biggest flattery here.
There is.
And when you look at what South Carolina's done, they've also had good recruiting. Dave Roberts is their lead recruiter at South Carolina. Go Petty back in.
Yeah, back in the ball game, hands it off to Brewer. They were able to eat up a lot of clock on the last drive. Banks making the tackle. Brewer gaining about 3 on the play. Couldn't quite hit the corner.
Mark Corey Jenkins did his part. He's from Columbia, South Carolina. And in junior college, Bob Larson was his head football coach. And he talked about, he had a comment about him. He said he has that competitive nature that makes him, those around him, perform at a higher level. He did that tonight for South Carolina. Bob Larson, Garden City, proud of him.
Ran out the clock and he put points on the board. His team with a 9-point lead. Petty back in the game, hands it off to Alexander, who's brought down immediately at the 15-yard line by Josh Morgan.
Go back, Mark, to the 3rd down play when they tried to throw the ball. I said before, thought that was 4-down territory. You're kind of fooling with the clock now as you get South Carolina back on the field. I thought that was 4-down territory to draw the line in the sand, but they have a lot of confidence in their defense to get the ball back.
They're doing a chance right here on 3rd down and 10 for South Carolina. They come with a little pressure. Incomplete, intended for Matt Thomas, who made a big play against Georgia to set up the game-winning touchdown, but couldn't make the catch this time.
Against Memphis, the kicking game, Memphis misfiring on the kicking game more so than Mississippi State. But if you ever need a kicking play here, a block kick or a big return, Mississippi State needs it right now. They won that Memphis game, turned it around with the kicking game.
Over the last few years, that has been one of their signatures. Flag down on the play. Bivens makes the catch at his own 32. Ray Bivens brought down at the 43. There's a flag down at the 11-yard line.
Flag way on the 10-yard line, too. That may be offsetting penalties. Al Ford, the referee, went over Mississippi State in South Carolina, had a player tied up around the 5-yard line, out of bounds. So this may be offsetting penalties. Depends which way it goes, but there's a flag on the 11-yard line, which probably is holding on South Carolina. Now that big penalty is the one on the sideline over there.
Way out of bounds, it appeared to be.
One way over here, right over there. On the 11-yard line, let's see, well, about right over here. Let's see if we can find it over there. Oh, right there it is. There it is. Oh, the zeros.
Just keeps moving on you, Coach.
Holding on the kicking team. We had a personal foul on the receiving team. The penalties will offset. We'll replay 4th down.
You talk about a big play now. That's a big penalty. And in Mississippi State, again, the most penalized team in the SEC going into this game. That neutralized them where you would back them up to the 6 or 7-yard line to punt again. Now they get to punt again from the 15-yard line, 14-yard line. Bulldogs
perhaps losing a little bit of poise. That's Bivens, who now moves up, stands on his own 38-yard line. Tyler punting from his own 1. Had a 53-yarder last time, and this one will come back. We'll
now
run it again.
They're going to back them up 5 more because they're moving South Carolina, so they're going to back up 5 more yards.
Gene Tyler will end up.
A lot of times you'll get a punt team on their punt block team, and they'll start jabbing, make a move like they're coming, and then draw the offensive guys off. Although this is a long conference, they should have decided that if that was the call. I'm probably wrong on this call. He's going to get tired of punting.
His leg might hurt.
Defense was in the neutral zone that caused the offense to break their three-point stance. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So he'll move it up to the 6-yard line.
When they jabbed over the line of scrimmage, so that's why it came 5 this way.
Something that made Coach Sherrill too happy.
He hasn't been happy all night.
See if they come after this one at all. They bring some heat. Dean gets off down to the 40. Bivens with a nice return, a late flag thrown near midfield. Bivens down at the 45-yard line after that 40-yard punt, a 15-yard return. Ray Bivens, the special teams player, back after suffering an injury a couple of weeks ago. One of the fastest players on that Bulldog team.
It's going to go against Mississippi State.
Back in the back by the receiving team. The 10-yard penalty. In spot of the foul. Timeout.
Last year it was South Carolina that came back with the miraculous comeback. This time it's going to be up to Mississippi State. Mississippi State trailing by 9 with the ball, under 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs have won 17 of their last 18 here at Scott Field. A big challenge ahead. Don't forget, coming up after the game, Sports Center, Rich Eisen, Dan Patrick. Tonight's spotlight on college football returning center stage. Barry Bonds gets a little bit closer to number 70. And big performers on and off the field. Atkin looking to make a play this time. All down to the 43. Tackled by Edwards.
South Carolina just sitting back in zone coverage, making Wayne Matkin work. They're not going to give him the big, long pass. He's not going to get that. So he's going to have to work the clock and work down the field. It's the old adage of letting the offense self-destruct, make mistakes, not go the distance, 50, 60, 70 yard drives. And Mississippi State has not been able to do that tonight.
It's a formula that's worked for South Carolina in the last game. Running between the tackles this time. DeCenzo Miller stopped up by Kalimba Edwards. Once again, a name that we have said time and again tonight. 6'6", 260, a senior, can play either down on the line or standing up as a linebacker. A guy that Charlie Strong will lose next year, but he'll make the most of his abilities this season with 8 tackles tonight is Edwards.
9 tackles against Georgia 2 weeks ago.
3rd down and 3 for Mississippi State. Griffith stopped up initially, short of the 1st down. Edwards once again filling. A defiant Kalimba Edwards.
They're trying to sneak Justin Griffith up in there now. Jackie Sherrill's going to take a timeout and think about this decision with 8:14 left.
4th down and about 2 to go. As Mississippi State has 1 timeout remaining compared to 2 for the Gamecocks. We'll take a timeout too and be right back. Big play here. Biggest play of the game for Mississippi State offensively.
And they had a conference on the sideline. Joe Lee Dunn was in it. I'm sure he encouraged Jackie Sherrill to go for it. If you don't make it, our defense will try to get the ball right back.
Gave it back to him the last 2 times. They'd rather not have to on 4th down and 2. They'll throw. Complete to Grindle. 1st down, Mississippi State. South Carolina brought a lot of people that time.
And I think South Carolina felt like it was going to be a play pass, but they wanted to make sure with the 2 backs in the backfield, they stopped the run, and they figured Andre Goodman would be all right on the island.
Goodman already with a big play tonight, had an interception that set up a South Carolina score. 1st down and 10 for Mississippi State. There's play action. And it's incomplete, in and out of the arms of Grindle, covered by Goodman.
Looked like to me now, Mark, I don't know how you saw it, but it looked like he had a shot for this football. Now, Wayne Mack can put this ball right in there. I don't know if Andre Goodman got a hand on it or he got his hands around the ball. Let's take a close look at the takeoff route and see if he got his hand on it. Nope. Dropped it.
Catchable ball by Grindle. 2nd down and 10. Grindle led the team in receptions a season ago. Atkin incomplete and almost intercepted. Goodman again in on the coverage.
2nd down would have been a good time for a screen pass because South Carolina really rushing up field. Now, I don't know on 3rd down if you can afford to do a screen pass because you got to pick up a big part of this 10 yards right here. So if you continue to, if the chains move again, you get another 1st down, it come right back to the screen pass to slow this defensive line down a little bit and get the ball in DeCenzo Miller's hands.
Just one back behind Madkin. Clarence Parker has checked into the game along with the tight end Donald Lee. Madkin completes this pass for the 1st down to Grindle. Came right back to him. A pickup of 16 yards with 7.5 minutes to play. 1st and 10, Mississippi State.
I believe Andre Goodman went for the interception right there on this play. As Grindle makes his move, yes, he overcommitted for the interception right here and allowed Grindle to make that play.
Grindle's 6th catch of the evening for 80 yards.
Now here would be a good screen call.
1st down and 10. Atkin through the hands of Sheldon Brown. And Sheldon Brown wishes he would have had that one back.
Yeah, that ball was telegraphed by Wayne Mack, and he was eyeing his receiver, Clarence Parker, all the way. Sheldon Brown, he's locked in. Sheldon Brown's locked in right now. His eyes to the quarterback on Clarence Parker, number 1. He's going right for the interception.
2nd down and 10 now for Mississippi State. Through the arms of Parker, just out of his reach. 3rd down and 10.
They've had their chances. Now, on this drive, they've dropped 2 passes. Now you got to think 1st down. You got to pick up the 1st down. Remember early in the ball game, Donald Lee made a catch over the middle. If they're playing a lot of zone, here's where you want your tight end. Where's he at, lined up at here? Right on the left side, number 84. Donald Lee, let's see if he can get loose in zone coverage.
3rd down and 10 for Madkin. Little check down, and it's ruled incomplete. Faison, the big hitter, knocked that one out of the arms of Justin Griffith. And it's 4th down and 10.
The tight end, Donald Lee, on the last play. You figure you're going to get a lot of zone coverage down here. He's lined up on the left side. Number 84. He's going to work in zone coverage. Comes across. He's fairly open right there with the safety of his back.
4th and 10. They've got to get to the 22-yard line to keep this drive and their hopes alive. Incomplete, and the Gamecocks will take over on downs. He was looking the way of Grindle once again.
Good effort by Jeremiah Garrison, the linebacker, who South Carolina coaches are playing a little bit more because Kenny Harney's injured. So, again, you move the ball, but when you get in scoring territory against South Carolina, a tough team to score a touchdown on.
Garrison breaking that one up. You can't say enough tonight, Mike, about the Gamecock defense. And going back to the Georgia game where they held the Bulldogs to 9 points away from home, they hold Mississippi State to just 7 so far tonight.
And their secondary coach is John Gutekunst, who used to be the head coach of Minnesota.
Petty doing his best Corey Jenkins impersonation, keeping the ball that time, much to the chagrin of Jackie Sherrill. His team 17-1 in their last 18 games here at Scott Field. That number in jeopardy right now.
Really is, and you go back, and every team's had the same things to deal with, so you can't look at that as an excuse. They've had a little longer time than South Carolina, 17 days, but they did not make the plays tonight to this point to beat a good South Carolina team.
Like, it's been a different game since the first drive of the ball game.
South Carolina weathered that drive, came right back, got the turnover and scored.
2nd and 4, Alexander in motion. They give us to Pinnock, who's done yeoman duty tonight for the Gamecocks. And he gets the Gamecock first down and keeps the clock running, and in their possession is the ball. First down and 10. Let's take a look now at our Miller Lite storyline. South Carolina running the ball extremely well, 232 yards. Wow. And their defense holding Mississippi State to just 41 yards rushing in the first half. And they finally broke that streak of Matkin of passes without an interception. Pinnock keeping it on the ground for South Carolina into Mississippi State's side of midfield.
Mark, the game that South Carolina missed was Bowling Green, and I talked to Phil Villapiano. You remember him?
Right.
Great Bowling Green player. He played for the Oakland Raiders, and he was in Mobile, Alabama the other day speaking to the 1st and 10 club, but he talked about Bowling Green. He really thought Bowling Green had a chance to beat South Carolina, a pretty good Bowling Green team who beat Missouri early in the year, and I don't think they're going to make up that game.
You know, things really don't get much easier, speaking of scheduling, especially for Mississippi State, who plays the Florida Gators next week. 2nd down and 4 for South Carolina. And this is Petty on the keeper. Takes the handoff to Pinnock. I mentioned that Mississippi State plays Florida next week. As for South Carolina, 2 big road wins, Mike, as they head home to take on Alabama in the next game.
You can't get fat, but you look at Alabama, they're certainly probably going to be favored. Kentucky, they'll be favored at Arkansas. Arkansas struggling a little bit. Then they get down to Tennessee, bye in Florida and Clemson. So their biggest part of their schedule is at the end. But they've got a chance now. They've already beaten Georgia, so they've moved up a rung to number 3, and now they got to try to take out Tennessee or Florida.
Lou Holtz with plenty of fire still in his belly. Pinnock on 3rd down and 2. As we approach 4 minutes to play in the 4th quarter, Ronnie Fields making the stop on that play. Mississippi State with just 1 timeout remaining as they burn it right now. South Carolina with 2 left. Trying to just run out the clock as Lou Holtz now. We'll be back in just a minute. 16-7, South Carolina getting set to punt. I'm Mark Jones along with Mike Gottfried and Jimmy Dykes down on the sidelines. South Carolina's defense has dictated things for most of the game. Their offense doing just enough. And Bivens calls for the fair catch at the 12. Well, our question of the night was which SEC coach gets the most out of his team, and are you surprised at the answer? Probably not.
I would disagree with that.
In what sense?
I really would. I don't know how you can put Steve Spurrier second to anything. You know how Philip Fulmer, or really in the SEC, I think it's week to week, and Lou Holtz has done a great job. And I would say he's right up there among the top. But don't tell me Steve Spurrier, and Philip Fulmer, and Tommy Tuberville, and those guys don't get as much out of their teams.
Little screen pass. This is Walker. Pushed out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Just getting back to the results.
I'm not arguing with the poll. Everybody has their own opinion.
It's just that probably there's a perception out there that Spurrier has a lot of talent. And sometimes that works against the strategic side of some coaches, although you really shouldn't look at it that way. Some people do.
You know, you around the country, you look at great coaches. Steve Spurrier, obviously Lou Holtz is one of the great coaches in the country, and Bill Snyder out of Kansas State. I mean, they're all over the place. The guys that really perform well and get their teams to play their maximum.
Atkin down at the 24-yard line. A pickup of 7 on the play. A look at the winningest active coaches in NCAA D1 football. Jackie Sherrill, number 4 on the list, and Lou Holtz, number 3. Know about those other 2 guys too. Jopa looking for a big win this weekend.
Come on, get some rest.
Atkin, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10, intended for Parker.
And when you go ahead again, the leader is the head coach and the assistant. So tonight, when you look at that sideline tonight, Lou Holtz is going to be proud of all his coaches, because it's when you have 110 players and a game plan, including everybody. The offense, Skip Holtz has to play the defense, Charlie Strong. They got to play the special teams, and so it's a combined effort. So Lou, when you talk Lou Holtz or Steve Spurrier or Philip Fulmer, you're talking staffs.
Good talent.
And some good talent.
Pass complete to Harold Lindsey. The Bulldogs out of timeouts. We approach 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. They've won 17 of the last 18 here at Scott Field, but trail by 9. Almost intercepted by number 33, Jeremiah Garrison, but caught by Harold Lindsey. A 13-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Talk about Mississippi State. Now they've got to go on the road and play that Florida team we were talking about, and then go back to Auburn.
That's incomplete. Out near midfield is Dante Walker. Bulldogs in hurry-up mode right now. No choice, really.
And this western side of the SEC is really up for grabs. Now LSU probably got the best talent, but they got a tough away schedule.
A lot of the prognosticators picked the Tigers to win the SEC's Western Division, with the Bulldogs at number 2. 2nd and 4. Incomplete. Intended for Justin Jenkins. Stops the clock with 2:03 to go in the 4th.
And Lou Holtz is running up the sideline, telling Charlie Strong, get back, move him back. Don't let a receiver run by one of our defensive backs. But a great job coaching tonight. I thought the entire staff, they had a plan. They came in here, withstood the first score and all the emotion, and then Phil Petty played really well, and all of a sudden they moved the backup quarterback Corey Jenkins in the game, and just kind of took the breath out of Mississippi State on defense.
They sure did. Atkin trying to breathe some more life into the offense. Might be a little too late. Complete to Bivens.
What's up, man? What's up, man?
You remember we talked about Melvin Page didn't play tonight. Offensive right tackle was suspended. Didn't get in the, best I know, didn't get in the football game. So that patchwork offensive line did a real good job.
They sure did, bonding together under some difficult circumstances. 1st down and 10. Atkin escaping. Steps out of bounds, about 3 yards short of the 1st down at the 28-yard line. Folks, don't forget that immediately following the game, it'll be SportsCenter with Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick, and we'll also have continuing coverage from Starkville, Mississippi on ESPN News.
Mark, when you're on that sideline, like South Carolina sideline, you aren't celebrating right now.
You don't think so?
No, you still feel like, I mean, you got to play, though. There's 3 zeros on that clock up there.
Couldn't blame backup quarterback Corey Jenkins for being a little excited at this point. He was a big part of their success in the 3rd period. 2nd down and 3. Pass complete. That's Lindsey down to the 18-yard line. Another Mississippi State first down. A pickup of 9 on the play.
Here's where it gets tough. Now the field is shrunk. And so you got 18 yards now in the end zone. So this is where South Carolina loves it.
Where they are at their definitive best. The pass complete to Bivens. They're ruling it a catch at the 11-yard line. Second down and 3 for the Bulldogs. Pass complete to Jenkins, who's hit immediately.
They'll give you that throw. They'll give you that one.
Guess Lou got through to Charlie Strong. The guys are backing up.
Well, they're back. They're going to guard the goal line.
40 seconds to go.
The old story, Mark, that Bobby Cope used to coach for Lou Holtz, and Lou Holtz ran into him in the last similar situation like this. He said, get him back, get him back. And Bobby Cope said, relax, coach. We've practiced this every day. So another play went by, and they gained some yards, and Lou Holtz went by again, and he said, I said, get him back, get him back. And he said, coach, relax, we've practiced this. He said, listen, if they catch a pass over your defensive back, you're fired. Bobby Cope said, get back, get back. A little different value. And Charlie Strong said, get back.
There's something definitely at stake there. First and goal. Touchdown Bulldogs. Lindsey. He was the favorite and main target of Madkin on this drive. So with 36 seconds to play, the extra point to come. Lou Holtz not all that happy.
No, that's why you can't relax. And Madkin threaded that needle. And now your special teams onside kick return team is very, very important. Lou Holtz going over the sideline with his special teams coach, who he's got in there.
You see that hands team, that so-called hands team up front. Michael Marlin with the extra point first, though, and it's 16-14. The Bulldogs inching ever so closer. One more look at that touchdown catch by Lindsey.
Wayne Madkin, senior quarterback, just threads the ball in front of Rashad Faison for the touchdown.
Lindsey, as I mentioned, making some key catches and conversions on that drive. A 14-play, 88-yard drive. Madkin, meanwhile, with a career high in completions and attempts, 27 of 46. Never thought I'd see him throw it that much.
No, not in this ball game. I thought they would be successful running the football. They weren't. They had to put it all on his shoulders. Now, Mark, you get to the onside kick, and what you want if you're Mississippi State, you'll put 5, 6, 7 guys on this side of the football, and most of those players are going to go down and try to run interference and take out the front line. And there's 2 designated guys at Mississippi State that will go for the football. So they're going to try to knock out Ryan Brewer right here, number 83. Trying to see who he is.
That's Chavez Donnings.
Okay, they'll try to take him out, and those guys, they've got assignments to take them out, and somebody's assigned to go for the football right here.
Marlin with the onside kick gets a good bounce. It was live for a while, but South Carolina recovers at Mississippi State's 47-yard line.
Now, if you're ahead, this is the favorite play in your playbook.
Kneel down?
Yeah, kneel down.
Know that one.
Save the game.
Lou Holtz,
congratulations to Lou Holtz and his coaching staff and his football team. They came into a tough place to play and won.
On a night when college football came back for the first time to our country after the horrific acts of September 11th, and don't think you can say enough about the atmosphere here at Scott Field in Starksville, Mississippi. Everybody warm, receptive, bonding in the name of civility, humanity, a real spirit of togetherness here. Symbolic of what's happening around our great country.
Mark, we pray for our service people and the days ahead.
And credit to the coaching staffs, respectively, and the players who sense and know that they are part of the bigger picture. And an important part in the psyche of the country at times. 16-14, the final score, as South Carolina improves to 3-0 on the season. Mississippi State falling to 1-1 with a tough task ahead next week against Florida in Gainesville. The final score is 16-14 for Mike Gottfried and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Mark Jones. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more on tonight's game, log on to ESPN.com, your home of college football. America, stay safe, stay strong. Right now, let's go to Rich Eisen.